Peace and blessings. Namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I know it seems that I have been MIA, but we're entering into this new season and new timeline shifts, and that included me. So we have been so busy moving. Moving our house to a new location. This is the season of big change, and we're right on target with it, okay? And if you've ever had to move before, you understand how exhausting and tiring and cumbersome it can be. So as soon as we get fully settled in, I'll pick back up with the video. So right now, I'm going to focus on this solar eclipse and everything that you need to know. And I'm going to condense a bunch of messages in this one message because I'm not sure when I'll be back to do another video. So bear with me, okay? The first thing we need to know is we have a solar eclipse that is coming on June 10th. And with any type of solar eclipse, we understand that it means portals, ding, ding, ding. So this is the time to get your mind, body, and spirit in right alignment and in equilibrium. Okay, because once this portal opens up, we are going to shift right into your optimum timeline. Now, how many timelines is it going to be? Well, it depends on how much of the collective becomes unified for a specific cause of action for the earth that they want to see, okay? So we understand it's a 3D, 5D timeline split, but we're not understanding that there's multiples in between those, okay? Some will experience a little bit more hardship, some will experience more easy coasting, but what is important right now is to know what is coming, all right? Many light workers and light warriors have been pushing for full disclosure. And as you can see, our government has now started to release information with alien or extraterrestrial contact. And they're putting out there, information concerning our space program. And if you are a YouTube enthusiast, okay, you will see multiple channels that are showing the disclosures in the skies, the UFOs appearing all over and even in broad daylight. So you're very close to that. But I also want to tell you that not all of you are going to experience it. Okay? That's for one specific timeline that's going to experience it. And it's not anything that you have done wrong. Okay? So you're not going to beat yourself up over it. But what it is that your soul did not elect to experience that. Okay, so what's coming with the full disclosure? What you can expect with it is advanced technology. Okay, I mean highly advanced technology that will also include nanotechnology and transhumanism. Okay, biotechnology. You'll also have the ability to monitor the stars and the celestial systems. Astrology is going to increase all of those things, and you may even have the ability to connect and see with your space brothers and sisters, okay? And for people that want that timeline, that's going to be optimum with them, but it's not going to be all rosy, because I did say again that with that particular timeline is going to include both positive and negative, okay? So you will get the technology that you are looking for as far as medical, but there is also an effort with there to integrate you with this type of technology. So be very cautious on that timeline. The second timeline that is going to occur is for people that are more into holistic lifestyles, okay? And with this timeline, it's going to be more about the earth, more natural supplements, more earthly relationships, more peace. You're going to have markets out there like fair and free trade. Okay, there will be cities, there will be some forms of technology, but nowhere on the level that is going to be on the other timeline. Okay, with the simpler timeline, it's all about healing. It's all about holistic lifestyles. And with that technology, it will be a lot of health. I mean, we're still going to have, internets and the ability to make our lives a little bit smoother, but you're going to not experience the nano, the transhumanism, or the contact. okay? Even though it will be in the background, you're not going to experience that. So again, if you don't find yourself on the timeline that you want to be on, then now is the time for you to start focusing before this portal opens on which timeline is better for you and your lifestyle, okay? Now, how can we maximize this time? One of the things that we have to focus on is equilibrium. Up until the day of the portal. Equilibrium is mind, body, and soul. Okay, this is energy, frequency, and vibration. Energy, frequency, and vibration. And we want to get those three in right alignment. And some of the ways that we can do that is through conscious meditation and visualization. Our ancient ancestors, the ones that traveled the stars and knew the stars that came here to this earth, have taught you how to vibrate to even get to levels of astral travel, okay? And we do this through visualizations of targeting the smallest molecule, the smallest atom within a cell. And we visualize it beginning to shake like this. And once you do that, then it'll start to permeate throughout the body and you will start to feel the energy, and it starts to come as like a little tingle. It took us a while to get to that point where we can actually loose the soul. Okay, loose the soul to go and enter into, other realms of existence, to have the ability to tap into Akashic records, to have the ability to look from higher vantage points on down to see what is going on with the earth. And this is where you want to be so that you can have a clear understanding on what's coming and why, okay? As a free will universe, a certain percentage of a collective can get together of one mind, like thought, like frequency, and actually manifest things happening. Okay, so up until this point of this manifestation, make sure that you're working on your equilibrium. Now, what we want to focus on, purging. Number one, purging yourself from all negativity, purging yourself from fear, okay, purging yourself from disappointments, purging yourself from rejection, abandonment issues, because a lot of people are experiencing that right now, especially if they feel like, they have been betrayed by something, all of that's mental. All of that's mental. Okay, so realigning your thought processes to understand and be assured that the universe works in your favor is very, very key here. Okay, so we want to purge ourselves from all of these negative energies that are coming through, that is being implanted in the mind. Because sometimes what you're not realizing is sometimes your thoughts are not your own. Okay? And you have to be conscious of this, that there are thoughts that could be implanted. This person is against me. That person is against me. This person is, and it will cause you to go into those anxieties. Okay. And it might not necessarily be true. Okay. But if you listen to them, it becomes true to you. And once it becomes true to you, you make it a part of your reality. Okay, so we want to tune out the voices of negativity that is saying either you're for me or against me, because that is only the mindset of the dark. And we're not in the mindset of the dark. We are in the mindset of the light. So we understand that there are varying degrees of consciousness and explorations. There go my cat Magus, get down. Varying degrees of these things. So we purge our energies from all of that, okay? We do it through the breath. We do it through the breathing. We do it through our mudras, okay? All right. The second thing that we also want to identify with is how to get still. How to get still. A lot of us have a very hard time meditating. That's because we have so many different thoughts that are going through our heads when it's time to get quiet. And that's okay in the beginning phases because there's varying forms of meditation. So you don't need to stop your meditation just because you can't quiet your mind. Instead, what you need to do is observe the thoughts that are coming through. Okay, observe them. Don't block them out. Observe them and process where it could possibly be coming from. Okay. And if there's a thought that comes through that is not in alignment or in agreement with you, then go ahead and purge the body of it. And how we do that is by putting a ball of light in our heart chakras and we expel it outwards. And you can do it with a sharp breath of exhale. Okay. You can do it that way, or you can pulse it out. But those are the way to get rid of that negative energy or those impeding thoughts, okay, that is not serving your highest good. And if you are one that carries a bunch of anxiety or impeding thoughts like that, you really have a lot of work to do, okay? Because nothing should be resting on your consciousness that way unless it's an infiltration, all right? And infiltrations are not good, but you will be able to recognize it when you see it. All right. The third thing is we want to go through this. If you are single, okay, or if you are a black sheep of your family, or if you're not around a lot of like-minded individuals, then now is the time to spend time in isolation, with yourself and get into agreement with yourself on what you want to experience as your optimized earth, okay? Your optimal earth, because like I said, it's going to be multiple timeline shifts here, okay? And you want to make sure that you are on the timeline that your soul agreed to, all right? So you want to spend time in isolation. You want to spend time focusing on what your earth should look like. I know for ours, it is peace. It is peace. It is harmonious. It is laughter. It is joy. It is fun, okay? It is balanced. It is fair. Okay, and humanity will just unite itself and be beautiful again, okay? And we don't have to have all of this distractions because on my earth, we have purged the negative energy from it, okay? But here's something really important. If you are in a committed relationship, if you have a spouse, if you are with a team of like-minded individuals, then you want to manifest with this team, not by yourself. Why? Because light streams will merge and turn into a convergence, okay? And it is way more impactful. A lot of things, methods that we tend to use when it comes down to manifesting as a couple is you want to, number one, make sure that you and your significant other or one accord, like-minded, and you can sit facing one another, okay, in a lotus style position, and you put your hands together like this, okay? He faces you, you face him, okay, and then you use your words and your light to merge a light stream coming from both of you, okay, to go upwards. And you will be surprised that when you do this, you will not be by yourself, okay? Because other consciousness that you may not be able to see will join you in these meditations and join you in your prayers, okay? So it ends up becoming a team anyway because two or more is in agreement, all right? So one of the things that we had to do, as a couple was when we were going through this whole election fiasco, okay? And, the election process had gotten hijacked, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that my husband and I did, okay, was we got into that type of meditation where we touched hands, we faced one another, we got into agreement, okay? And we put up there in the ethers that, okay, that every corrupt politician would be exposed. And not only would every corrupt politician be exposed, but they would start to turn on one another. And when they start to turn on one another, then we're going to watch the whole system collapse. And if you're paying attention, you'll see that that's happening now. So putting mind purpose at work actually does work. And the more people that are involved, the stronger and the quicker that it happens. All right. So when we come down to this solar eclipse, I am hoping to gather with the rest of my team, who I know is going to text me and try to figure out when we're going to get this done or the time, this, that. And if you want to be a part of it, you can always drop me a line, in the comment section, and I will give you my personal information. I have nothing to hide. Okay, I will give you my personal information and you and I can talk and coordinate, or I can just send you what you should be doing on that day to help you optimize your timeline. But when two or more and a whole lot, the bigger the group, start to get together and become of one mind, okay, one mind, one purpose, then bam, you will see these manifestations happen a lot quicker. So you can do it as an individual, you can do it as a couple, and you can do it with a team. The key of it is to make sure that you are in agreement, okay? If you're not in agreement, then just do it by yourself. but make sure that it's done before the solar eclipse. All right. And the last thing that I really want to touch on is during this time, I want to address the goddesses of the earth. Okay. We are very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. You went out healing, women, the sacred feminine. You've made your wisdom known. You've made your power known, okay? And one of your charges was to also go out and try to heal the divine masculine. All right. And I know many of you are having a very hard time with this because the ego, the stubbornness, a lot of things come with it because we weren't in a position in the past where a lot of men like to listen to women. Okay. And in their mindset, we have, this emotional, illogical type of disposition going on. But if you're really paying attention, you will see and start to notice that it's actually the opposite. All right. So you have a very, very hard charge to do right now because you will get blamed for things that is not your fault. You will become a target. Accept the target. Okay, because it's always a learning curve. So if people want to blame you for something, if they want to target you for doing something that that you're innocent of, and you happen to be a scapegoat for a group of people, more than one, go ahead and take that. It's not a big deal, and you do not have to defend yourself. You do not have to defend yourself when it comes down to this, okay? The universe will do it for you. You just have to keep in right alignment. You just have to keep your personal space. You just have to keep positive during this time and just let the chips fall where they may, because the time will always come where you'll realize that it wasn't personal. It's just something personal with that person. And that's a learning curve that they have to go through. You do not take that energy. Goddesses, you are phenomenal in what it is that you're doing, and continue to try to heal the divine masculine. He has to wake up at some point. Okay. There is starting to see some momentum with it. You have a lot of powerful YouTube masculine men out there that are speaking their truths, they're speaking their authenticity, and they're moving in positive direction, and they're standing very firm and balanced, okay? But we also have some that are still teeter-tottering a bit, and haven't quite gotten to the point where they're not affected emotionally, okay, with what is being said or what is being shown or what is not happening versus what is happening. And you have to utilize that beautiful spirit that you have of patience. Okay, just be patient with the process. Don't rush the process. Don't push the process. You can disconnect, and that's fine. You can allow space, okay, but not distance. Always be available when somebody, falls and needs your support, okay, because we do not operate in grudges. Okay, we don't operate in those type of energies at all. All right, so divine feminine and goddesses, you are working beautifully out here, and we're very, very proud of you. But you're going to have to be a little bit more patient with the process, and I know, because I hear from you. I know. I know. Also, be conscious. Be conscious of your energetic fields at this time, okay? Your energetic fields at this time is very, very important. But you also need to remember that the stronger you are, the weaker the outside influences are, okay? So you don't have to walk around in a shell. You don't have to walk around in a shell, because when you have a certain amount of light and power, you actually have the ability to transmute the negative energy, okay, as opposed to allowing it to affect you. So the weaker you are in your faith, the more isolated you should be. The stronger that you are in your faith and your understanding and your power, the more out in the open that you can be, because you know that nothing is going to affect you, but you have the power to affect it. All right. This is the beginning of a beautiful journey. Again, I'm going to reiterate, not everybody's going to experience these things, okay? Some of you have elected not to experience it. Some of you have elected to just be sovereign and free, okay? And very holistic and natural. And others are ready to Fly off, right? Fly off into the heavens and into the stars and this, that, and the third. Do not be pumped with fear, okay, if you do not see this disclosure taking place. It may not be for you, okay? And once again, it's not going to be a negative thing, okay? Just understand what earth you are trying to visualize or envision and make it come into fruition. And again, teams work miracles. Just make sure you're in alignment. Also, if you have grudges against somebody, okay, if you have negative thoughts against somebody, you need to make sure that you purge that from your being and from your psyche. Let me explain how important this is. When you are holding accusations against somebody else, or grudges against somebody else, or you're angry with somebody else because something didn't go your way, or you didn't like something, or whatever it is, and you're pointing fingers, remember that we are always judged by the same measure that we judge others. Okay, so when you're sitting in a judgmental position towards somebody else, you better make sure that your spirit and your soul is clean itself. Make sure you're not operating in hypocrisy. Okay, because while you're harnessing that energy towards somebody else, oh my God, the charges are piling up against you. Learn how to operate in the spirit of forgiveness and let it go. It's not going to serve you any purpose to do this except for harm against yourself, because you will be exposed. See, when you don't operate from a place of humility, what comes next is humiliation. Do you understand? All right, so let silliness go, okay? We are supposed to be at an age of maturity at this moment. Those of us who have walked this path for a very long time, we are now sitting in the seats of elders, and we're turning over the reins to the younger generation. But we're always supposed to be here to support and guide no matter what, okay? And even if you have a hard-headed student, a stubborn student, a student that could downright be nasty, you don't let that affect you. Let them go through their learning curve, and you still be there to be a support to them. Okay? So, what are we going to do? We're going to purge our energies and make sure that we are in equilibrium. Frequency, the mind raised to higher levels, cause the body to vibrate on higher levels of existence, which will give you easily access to higher realms of existence, okay? And it will cause the split, the shift, because when two frequencies that are not on the same frequency will miss one another, they will not be able to see each other. So it'll be like, poof, you just disappeared, okay? Number 2, manifest individually. If you cannot find anybody in agreement with you, then go in and do the inner reflection. But if you have a spouse, manifest with your spouse and merge the light streams, okay, to make it a little bit more powerful and to work a little bit quicker. And if you have a team, be of one mind, and also manifest as a collective. And then you'll be joined by another collective, and it will double your efforts and make things a lot quicker for you, okay? And make sure to visualize the timeline, the most optimum timeline for your soul purpose that is in agreement with you, and you will be okay no matter what. All right, and I'll get back to you as soon as we are all settled in. My name is Sophie, and I do love you all. Bye.